was quick. That was incredible. Well, here we are, folks. We're the Unpanners, and this is roughly unofficial episode 50.
Wow, it's our 50th.
Our anniversary. How beautiful.
It's glorious. Glorious.
50th episode of a podcast. So we figured, what better topic than podcasting?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. A podcast about podcasts? Has it ever been done before?
Oh, yeah. I do know these two guys that I can't listen to because they're really annoying when they talk about podcasting.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me a hint? Give me a letter or two on them.
You probably never saw them, but
Okay.
they're thoroughly on Reddit.
Okay, and they're too much.
Yeah, I can't handle it.
Okay, we're not going to deal with them. But what we wanted to do is give a little bit of the insight onto how we started podcasting, how people should start podcasting or not, because that would cut into our time and sales.
Sales.
And some of the real software, equipment, and like the whole, we're breaking it down. We're giving you the whole 9 yards. Is that a phrase? I just made it up. We're giving you the whole 9 yards, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty important episode. You might want to bookmark this one. You might want to save it. You might want to send it to your friend who has a bad podcast and say,
Better check it out.
So, yeah. What do you want to talk about first? A little bit about podcasting in the United States of America?
Well, we got to let the intro roll. And there it is. So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. The taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content, and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles. All right. Yes.
Ooh, dang, that's gorgeous.
I love that fade in.
That's good, folks.
That also screws up your mic every time you do that. Pisses me off slightly.
This is north of America, and this is the opposite of wet, folks.
Ooh. Go. We're going to talk about our own podcast and how we learned from our faults. Our many, many faults.
Our faults.
Yeah.
I can say that. I guess I can admit some faults.
So many mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I would like to say...
Drinking during the podcast is terrible, so we can cut that out. Cut it back. We cut it back.
Yeah, I've gone to my cheaper beer now that I'm a value guy.
Value man. Mr. Values over here.
I will say that I figured out something additional. We keep improving ourselves, and we're not quite professionals yet, but we're moving towards it. I think we might be there, but I always find out something new. Like this restream.io. It takes our stream and then streams it again and again and again. So now I have it streaming to 8 different spots. So we're literally streaming Periscope, YouTube, Twitch, some Russian one called VK, Stream, Smashcast, and Mixer. I don't even know these things. You now? Yeah, it's me. It's
we're
crazy.
All over the world right now.
The coolest thing.
Pinging along out there.
Yeah, we're all over the internets. The amazing thing is that it takes the chats from every single one of those and then puts it into one chat window. So if anyone says anything on individual platforms, I can see what they're saying. Not that we're going to respond to you, but I'll pay attention to it later on in the podcast.
When we're looking back, that son of a gun. That darn tootin' rascal.
Yep.
That's what we'll say. Things like that. Things of that nature. Well, podcasting, I'd say it's getting pretty big in America. Would you say so?
It's huge. I think it's like quadrupled in the past 2 years. Same thing with Twitch streaming and gaming. Everyone's jumping on board.
Our friends at Edison Research Infinity Dial did a March Q1 2018 research paper on podcasting in the United States.
Oh, yeah?
44% of the people in the country have listened to at least one podcast. Rally all the people behind at least one. The reports, according to Apple, were that 550,000 individual podcasts exist on Apple.
550,000.
That's not everyone in America. I really thought it might be closer to everyone.
Yeah, that's not too bad actually.
Right, it's a big number, and everyone has
Like
their
2% ish,
etc. Right, and then I imagine half of that is political or something.
Actually,
Anyway,
it's less. It's like point two. It's less than. It's 500,000. No, half.
Right, yeah, because there's how many million in America?
Oh, it's less than that then. It's like 0.2%.
That's good, and that's wonderful. We're upper crust. That's what we are.
Yeah.
There are over 18.5 million episodes, podcast episodes out there.
Oh yeah. How many of them are abandoned? Do you have that stat?
I don't. Do you?
It was something like 30% of them are no longer active. They're just dead episodes floating out there in the nether.
Not here at the Unpanners. No. Did you know 80% of people who will listen to a podcast listen to the whole episode? And I thought that's interesting. They must not have been people who stumbled upon the Unpanners in the past. A couple of foolish fools. 80%.
We're also not trying to hit the mark on people who listen to the whole episode because we hit over an hour every time. So that's probably a little tough to listen to straight through.
It is.
It's a long bathroom break.
Mm-hmm. Your boss is going to be really wondering what you were doing in there.
Unless he's in the stall next to you, listen to us too.
And what you could say, enjoying myself, boss. Enjoying myself. And you can mean it, You got that look on your face, like, just listen to that podcast.
You're twiddling your toes, taking your shoes off.
You can hit them with today's tongue twister if you want.
Oh, you got a tongue twister.
Do you think it would stop someone from getting fired? A really good tongue twister would probably save your job.
What, do you got one?
Okay,
Yeah.
Wait. I'll leave the office. I'll pack up all my stuff. If you can say gerbil 5 times fast, boss. They'll say, excuse me? And you'll say, like the Gerber baby. Pretend there's a gerbil one. Say gerbil.
Gerbil. Oh, no. Sounds horrible. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, that's 2. I thought that one up today. That's pretty good.
Huh.
That's what I do. Could save your job. I'm just saying, folks. Save your job.
Trip him up.
Gerbil depends on it.
Every time he tries to fire you, just throw another tongue twister at him. He's like, damn it. He's got me.
Got someone with toy boat over the weekend.
You did? Did they feel all confident going into it?
Yeah, because
they're like, this is so simple.
I said you drank too much. It's time to go back. And I was like, right, I was tired. We were doing something. And he was like, whatever, dude. I get wasted. I'm not even wasted. And I said, hold on. And I was drunk. And I was like, listen, if you think you're sober, there's a test cops make you do. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, say toy boat 5 times. And he was like, okay, toy boat. And then he like looked at his, and he was like, I can't. No, I just started laughing. I was like, no one can.
It's impossible. Those of you out there, try it right now. It's impossible.
Try toy boat. That's our favorite tongue twister at the Unpanners.
Yeah. So we made it to the 50th episode, which is kind of fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I expected it to go that far. I don't think I looked farther than a couple episodes ahead, which is really our goal. When we're coming up with an idea, we only think about the next episode. It's not like a series of building episodes. It's just one at a time.
We live episode to episode. We release roughly 6 to 8 episodes a month because it probably varies. Right?
Yeah, I would say we miss maybe like one recording session and then one topic just kind of sucks.
Or is screwed up audio, which we can get into, or screwed up this, or we didn't turn something on, or who knows.
Yeah, so what was our original idea? Do you remember who came up with it?
No, I don't. Did you have it written down? I did have page 1.
I think I was standing in my bathroom and thinking about Seinfeld, and I texted you like, we could do a podcast about other people, and it could be comedic about like small interactions between people.
Interesting.
I don't think my text messages. Yeah.
Go back that far.
And then we started building a little bit. I don't even remember what our first one was.
Prison.
Was it prison? Was the very first one was prison?
It was the first one. I mean, that was like the idea, and I had a bunch of research pages. Let me see if I can find it here.
I know we had mastery in there, and then we had language, I think.
Right. Language was like a third or
emotion. So like the first 3, I don't think we could use. They were all pilots.
They were all pilots. Our pilots were actually very, very.
I think I could go back and fix it now that I know how to master the audio.
but it was recorded in such a way that I don't think you can just save it.
Yeah, it's
If
pretty.
someone wanted to like say we're as famous as like the Beatles or something, like the biggest podcast in the world, and people couldn't get enough of us, and let's say we had a falling out because we were 500 millionaire, and you make 500 million and I make 300 million, and we're arguing about something, we stop making podcasts, and people are like, no, this
I want that 200 million.
Split. And we're arguing, and I was like, well, Dan has the tapes of the unreleased
Actually,
sessions.
I have everything. What are you talking about?
I know. That's what I was saying. You have the unreleased sessions. You could release them at any point if you wanted. I can't find it. I got so many pieces of it.
That's all right. That's all right. I probably could search for it. I will when we're distracted in the future.
That's fine. Here, real quick, before we leave the podcast stats, I did want to tell you that 25% of the U.S. populace listens to podcasts monthly. 56% of them are men, 44% women. Comedy is the number 1 subject. Education, number 2. News is number 3.
Comedy, education, and news?
Correct. We have a little comedy. We have a little education. We give people the news.
A little mix of everything.
So it's really, they're talking about us.
We're the number 1. If you combine all the 3.
The other interesting thing is they did a study, Nielsen, on podcast listeners. What kind of people are they?
They educated?
91% of them are smartphone users. 61% of them are college educated. That's pretty good.
That's kind of surprising, yeah.
It goes also with smartphone.
Yeah, people who are a little more wealthy.
I think almost 80% of them, I didn't write the number down, it was between 70 and 90, use one form of social media. Now, I think that can include Facebook, so that's like...
Facebook is the one form of social media? Is that a minimum?
At least one form of social media.
Okay.
And I don't know if they included Facebook. It didn't say, but I'm guessing. Last but not least, households that use baby foods and listen to podcasts. 57%.
Parents?
I guess so. So hold on. 53% of beer drinkers listen to podcasts. Yeah, that's a beery crowd, huh? 56% of juice drinkers.
Wow.
And let's have a drum roll.
Milk?
54% of milk drinkers.
Yeah, wow. That's correlation right there.
That's where we are, man. I mean, I don't know if any of them tie into anything at all, but that's cool. Man.
Oh, it's going to stay up there and get screwed up.
Difficult.
I shouldn't have asked you to move it. I asked you to move it and screwed up.
You did. I'm going to show everyone. I'm going to show everyone my setup soon. It'll give me a chance to move it like 10 more times.
So let's talk about how we screwed up. We had the origin of the idea. We had these pilots, and we have
you got all night.
Yeah, topics and ideas coming through a website called Asana, which allows you to post.
Asana.
Yeah.
You can post and share projects.
Yeah.
It's very work centric. You can start a new project under tasks. You can start a new task under projects. No one knows which one's which. No one knows which one's the master file. No one knows which one's a subcategory. No one knows whether you put the topic you want under task or do you put each one a new project.
Do you want to share it publicly or privately with yourself or others? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Can I just share it with him? Do I have to share it to myself also? It's a good question.
How do I export this? Can it be prettier? Probably not. But does it work? Yeah, it does.
It does work. It does.
Are we going to use it? Probably only Dan.
This statistic applies to Dan a lot of these, actually.
Yeah.
No, we won't say that.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Is that why you wanted to do this episode? Do you want all the credit? Is that what you want?
You've already said it. You give me all the credit before, so I'll take it.
I do.
I will take it more. I love being showered with praise.
Shower him with golden praise.
Yeah. Talk about our failures, because the failures are really... we've done this for almost a year now. We're probably like a month away from being a year.
Did we do a whole episode that didn't record the audio at all? Like the third episode?
Yeah, that was my fault. That was my fault.
I'm not trying to blame you. I'm just telling the audience, like, we're human.
Yeah.
Like, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
We did a whole episode, and we don't know who it was.
Yeah, and then we have kids, so my kid likes to come in and push all the buttons, and sometimes it's just like, well, Nick is a whisperer, and he's right at the noise level, so we can't use this one. We also had, pops, hisses, buzzes, echo. You were the echo. And volume creep.
Every time I would talk, volume creep. one slowly gets louder.
It's weird because the software would slowly tick up for no reason at all.
Are you talking about a certain software?
Like your software. You like the Windows software. Remember when you had it like you were setting the volume and it was just like boop, and then like a second later boop boop. You're just like
Skype has that too.
Yeah, it tries to auto adjust, and the auto adjust just totally screws any editing you can do.
Oh, this guy needs to be louder. 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 It's just like, okay.
So what about our original mics? I was working with a Samsung Meteor USB mic. Sat on the desk. I mean, you hear all the taps and stuff when I would hit the desk, and it had a weird like electronic buzz, and it popped too. So there's nothing I could do.
The hum from the computer. Yeah, people think I have a computer, I have a laptop, I got a shitty little microphone, USB, plug it in, I can do a podcast.
Well, the laptop, it might work better because laptops are on DC power, whereas I have a workstation that's actually AC power.
Oh, well, that's an interesting fact. I didn't know this.
I'm curious if the Meteor mic will work on the laptop. I was going to try it, but I have zero time to do so. Maybe in the future. 100th episode, maybe?
100th episode. I think that's what we should do.
When I upgrade this mic. What about you?
When we first did it, I ordered a snowball mic. At the time, they were running like $60 or $80. I just looked online. They're like $50 now. The passage of time, I guess.
Yeah, mine was like 60. I think the Meteor was 60.
Right, but it was on a USB one. You just stuck into the USB. It powers itself. It feels pretty good.
It looks pretty sweet.
Looks cool. I give it that. Sits on a little 3-leg stand. I put it right here. I'm like, hey, microphone, like singing to it and all that.
Yeah.
I bought this actual. Which one is it? The Logitech HD webcam C310. It cost me around $50 or $60. It's 720p.
I think I have the same one.
Full HD. No. Now?
Yeah,
you got a newer, nicer one.
I have two of the same ones. Actually, I think I might have went like one model up.
I feel like you did. I thought you were a 1080p guy now. Did you move into the 1080p zone?
No, I did so it's called AUS DOM. So I have two different mics. I have one mic so it streams to you. This is how we do it on Skype or the other one we have, Discord. So there's one that streams to you, and there's another one that just records what my face is, which is beautiful in 1080p. Even though it's shrunk down to a quarter of the size. It should be larger, but I just equal footing here. So the one I use in 1080p is AUS DOM. Osdom. I don't know what the part number is. I think it's on here. F/sharp 2.0. I don't know. It was
an aperture size, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Word.
It just says webcam on it. It was a refurb for $30. Seems to work just fine.
As a refurber, isn't he? Value based. Well, I bought a snowball mic, this exact camera. Dan said I built a computer, so I had to buy an i7 overclocked beast with 16 gigabytes of RAM. He said I had to overclock it, DDR3, but like upclock it like 18 something. You know what I mean?
Sure, break your computer, sure.
He said, yeah, you got to. And then went and got a GTX 970. He said I needed at least that.
That's what I got too.
And had to buy nice speakers, some monitors, some JBLs. I think they're 350s. Show you all a little bit of setup.
Oh, he's moving around.
Breaking the fourth wall, guys. This is breaking the fourth wall. Dan said I had to get the JBL.
Those look nice. Oh, nice sound suppression on the back there, little foam pads.
And hold on, that was my next step. So he also said maybe try and deaden the sound around you. So I bought these acoustic noise canceling pieces. I bought some of them.
Oh, nice fabric.
Blankets up. Oh, look, I threw blankets all over the place to deaden some of the sound.
I love it.
And eventually, I realized I needed something a little better. So, you're taking a look at this bad boy. This is the Audio Technica AT2020 cardioid. Huh? Yeah, you like that right back here?
Nice.
It cost me like $120, I think, on sale. I think now you can find it for like $100 or whatever. And then I
there I am. I like it.
Oh, there he is. Look at that. That's how I see him. So I also go along this. This is like a mounting arm. Like this is like I felt professional. Like this is like what the guys use, like Harry King and all those. It cost me like $25. It's not a lot of money. I mean, this all adds up, so you can't buy it all at once, but little by little. Yeah, bad boy. Stopping them pops right there. That's a pop filter, folks.
Perfect.
Shock mount. And got me this little mic anti-vibrating piece right here. Look at that. All this stuff adds up, folks. And last but not least, because I had this new mic, which is a nice bad boy. She's got power. Oh, you felt that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. A little thump, thump, thump.
You can't USB cable that bad boy.
No.
You got to buy an XLR cable. Ooh, baby. And I bought this bad boy. Focus right SI2, baby.
You're loaded.
Phantom power. You like that? Well, I'm not loaded anymore. I'm in debt. But so I've got a new interface to connect my mic to. I got noise canceling. I got shock mounts. I got things that keep this bad boy from vibrating, sounding crappy, doing all horny stuff. I can move this, put it right back behind the computer. Everything's fine. I unplug this. I turn off phantom power. I got speakers. I can listen to music.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen overnight. I bought one thing, bought another thing, increased one, upgraded another, found a sale for one, got sent a vibration mic from Dan, and
yeah, I think it was your birthday, so I bought you a little gift.
The guy, he bought me something else too. I haven't worn that on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe you will. But yeah, I did the same thing. Like I had the meteor mic on the table, and then realized that I needed a different mic, and then the mic needed a stand. So I bought a stand, shock mount, pop filter, windscreen, and my mic is the newer NW800. It looks nice, and it's only like $30. So I went for it, and it sounded better than the $60 mic.
Really? Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
It's bizarre because you wouldn't expect it. Plus, some of those have kits, so you can buy a kit for like $50 or $60, and comes with all the stuff I think is actually necessary. Because the stand lets you like talk level, and you can move it back and forth. You're not going to hit things, and it deadens all the sound, all the crappy sounds that we make with our mouth.
Important because our first 20 episodes have hum in them. They have background noise.
Oh.
They have your computer makes noise. The room makes noise. Your echoes make noise. There's latency involved with all this stuff. It's really complicated stuff. And thank God to Dan, he does most of the technical stuff. Although I am not unversed in such a thing. You gotta take it piece by piece.
Yeah,
you know
it's
I mean?
I feel like every 3 months I kind of reevaluate, and it took us 6 months to really get to the point where we're at kind of now. And now I think
start with crappy sound, crappy video, crappy interface, crappy video quality, crappy recording, and then eventually you're like, I can record better. You're like, which software works best for you? You start with, how did we go?
Well, it was like I don't even want to mention the name because it wasn't really worth it. It was like NHC or something, and that one was just like pieced together and hacked together, and it was like a suite of software. Yeah, I wasn't really happy with it. There's a free one called OBS, which was Open Broadcaster software, which is fantastic. You can move stuff around, you can adjust it, you can make it so it looks like the screen, you can put words, you can just type, you can pick the typecast you want, and then you can have filters.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can actively filter noise suppress, noise gate, and then compress it a little bit too. So you can make it so it sounds pretty good right off the bat, and then work with it.
Which is important because it's nice. There's a certain feeling of, hey, I released a good podcast, good episode with good material, but it looks shitty. Versus, I have good material, good podcast, and the quality was pretty good. I really liked it. Like, do you know what I mean? That's a whole different feeling. People don't know what goes into quality, content, the technical side, the how it looked when it came to video, whether it all got compressed right, whether the sound was perfect. There's like a million things that go into it, and people really are just worried about like whether it was a cool episode or not. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like we teeter-tottered on the quality versus content. Like some of our funnier stuff was mired in the awful hiss or drone of whatever was going on, like the electrical noise. There were actually frequencies embedded in it that were from my computer that we tried to kill with ferrite beads, which I think worked pretty well. Ferrite beads, yes.
I remember. Good episode.
And I figured out just recently how to actually edit sound. So I pulled up Audacity, and you can look at the spectrum of what is a continuous noise, and you can just boop, like remove that one spike, and then like keep killing all the harmonics that it generates.
Man's becoming a producer over here.
Yeah, producing a podcast.
Sound engineering, huh?
I think I've
Should look
gotten
into
it pretty
that.
well. Yeah, do you listen to every episode that I remastered, right? Nearly.
Every single one, nearly every single one.
Yeah.
All the ones dropping on Oh, we can even get into that.
We're
How
gonna.
do they? Where do the episodes go? Like, do you just record it and leave it on your computer, or is that it? That's it,
So
right? We're done.
initially, we just recorded on my computer face to face, and it was done. Now we stream it, and
Mhm.
it goes to Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, Stream, all those
Question mark.
Smashcast, Mixer. That's fresh. That's new. We were doing Twitch for a long time, and YouTube required some sort of numbers in order for you to stream live, and we met those recently. So now we can stream there directly, and now I don't have to port from Twitch to YouTube. It will just stay on YouTube, so I can
Pretty
just
cool.
rename it, and then I take the whole process is rather simple but very complicated because I took my my hands and just wrung it. You just so there's our website, which is hosted on Blogger, which has all the posts and all the links and all the interconnections, and then where the file goes, the audio files on archive.org. And our main video hosting is just YouTube. But YouTube, I don't think they're monetarily the smartest place to be because you get almost nothing from them. You like
No, but it's. I
pennies.
mean, it's a place to hold it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's free. So my main goal is to be free and cheap because I love that.
Right. That's the other thing. Of course you do.
Blogger is free, archive.org is free, YouTube is free. The only thing we pay for is hosting our website. It's the domain name on panders.com. Bing.
Check it, folks.
Yeah. So the magic of it is that I'm a software programmer. I made it so I can pull all the data from YouTube, like compile it and decide like what episodes are new, and then I take data from the spreadsheet that we make together on descriptions and background, and then I generate keywords from it. Something called IF. I want to say DTF, but that's not it. IFDT something.
There's a lot of initials.
I
that
think it's
stand for that.
DFT. IFDFT.
Down to yes. Mm-hmm.
I think it's like something about frequency, document frequency. So that pulls out keywords and then it regurgitates it so that we can make a timeline, top keywords, and we can do excerpts. So if we look back, we can figure out where things were and then paraphrase them. So we can upload all of that together in bulk to YouTube as well as Blogger, and then any place that will pick up for search engine optimization.
See, it's crazy. People think we're just jacking off here at Sound Pointer, when really we're jacking on.
Jacking
We're
in.
jacking on this, jacking in that, jacking out of this, and jacking off of that. It's like we're jack of all trades and jack of all trades in. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I would like to go through an episode on automation because that's probably the meat of it. And I have a background in doing all that sort of crazy stuff, so I can be lazy. My whole goal is to be lazy, but it takes forever to be lazy. So
You
gotta
get
turn.
banned from Diablo.
Yeah, I had 3 accounts and one of them got banned because it tried to make money off Diablo. Almost made $200, and they kiboshed it. They kiboshed it.
Crazy they caught you.
Well, they caught me because I was actively doing it and running into walls and stuff, and I bet they tried to like talk to me, and I'm just like trying stuck doing the same stupid thing. Oh well, that's okay. Yeah, you learn a lot from all that. I did anyway.
Yeah. Almost like you become proficient in new things. I don't know. That's what podcasting.
Yeah,
In a way, it's the annoying part of podcasting, but the beauty of podcasting.
it's the difficulty, the speed bumps, and then my favorite part is the
Figuring out.
merging. So like podcasting is an entirely different entity than most people think, like software and programming and websites. Like the integration of all of that is like my right in there. Get in, slide right in.
there.
Yeah.
Grease job.
So it's interesting. It's fun. It's fun once you get done through it all and you know more than other people. Not that I'm a know-it-all or anything, but I kind of am.
Not at all. Not at all. There's a little bit of hardware, a little bit of software, a little bit of work, a little bit of technical stuff, a little bit of dabbling, a little bit of changing dials, a little bit of trying new things, a little bit of trying new software, a little bit of trying new streams,
Mm-hmm.
all while talking about what we're going to talk about and how we're going to present it
Mm-hmm.
and how much we want to give ourselves to this thing, because we also don't want to be so personal that we're giving out our social security. We don't even really say
Our last names.
really, like, you know what I mean? Not that we're like paranoid, but we also don't want to. Like, there's a line that you draw. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and you have to make it a little general too, because if you get too
You
specific,
do.
people are just thinking about you whining. That's not
Right.
good.
You want to find something that appeals to the common man and the common woman and the common working folk and the common technophile or the common
Commonality.
commonality, if we were to say it as such. I think so.
Also, these episodes aren't scripted. We pick a topic, we research it separately, and then we hit maybe like 3 points that we generally talk about beforehand, but not really.
I think that's a little bit of the magic of the podcast, right?
Yeah, because we can go off in any direction right now. We're not reading off of anything. We're just flowing.
We could talk about anything right now.
We could. Do you have something you'd like to talk about?
I do.
Hit it. Go ahead.
All right, everyone. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Dog died yesterday. Put it down.
What, really? Weren't you on vacation? Really? Oh, that's so sad. You just killed her.
It's a whole story. It is crazy. So we leave. We'll call him Otis, the dog, and we usually either leave him with someone or like a kennel for like a week. We're gonna be away because he's a pain in the ass. We hate his guts. Always telling him, "Move it. Hope you die." These are sentences I say to him constantly. Shut up. I hate you. Die. You're old. I hate you. Get out of my face. Shut up. Stop begging. These are things I say all the time. Everyone who's watching this podcast may know that.
Horrible. But
It's a dog
it's necessary.
from another relationship. Like, it's not, he doesn't like me. I like him. He's very cat-like.
It's a stepdog.
He's a stepdog. He hates me. I hate him. We're at odds.
You're invading his territory.
So he thinks. I'm way taller than him and way stronger. He's half poodle, is all I'm going to say about him. Tumor. It's like, I thought he was dying 3 years ago. I thought he was dying 2 years ago. So every 3 months, I'm always like, he's dying. He's done it. He's on his last leg. Well, we went on vacation, and we'll call this kennel Cranimal Ackers. Okay. I wouldn't hate to badmouth them. We got a picture of him in the middle of the week, and it was like Otis is enjoying himself. It was Otis peeing, which I thought was weird.
Enjoying himself. He's humping another dog.
Yeah, I don't know. So I didn't think anything of it. We go to pick him up Friday, and they said, "Oh, we just bathed him. They bathed him at the end of the week so that you have a fluffy dog."
Yeah.
We get him. He's still kind of damp, and he had poop dripping from his butthole, and I was like,
why did they give it? Don't they do like a quality check to make sure he's done?
You would think, and then I was like, this dog has anxiety issues. Sometimes he has diarrhea and stuff. Like, I get it. So we pick him up. We have like a towel in the car and bring him home. He's like doing his thing. We bring him outside. I'm the first one to walk him. He has diarrhea, but it's like mushy. Or I'm like, ugh. And I had to wipe his butt, which is not the first time we've ever done it because he's old. He eats crappy foods. He eats human food. He shouldn't eat what he eats. But he's been alive for 15 years, 14 years. So we wipe his butt. I'm like, here. Well, like, then he threw up twice in the house. And then, like, he was eating, and then he threw that up. And he needed to go out and had diarrhea again. And this time it was like, it shot out of his butt, you know?
Got some distance on it.
Dude. Yeah, it shot. And I was like, this is... Ugh. So he comes in. He's not eating. He's acting weird. He's doing stuff. Anyway. He got up and he looked all shaky. And he just shit all over the floor.
Huh.
All over the floor. And I was like... But it was like diarrhea. And I was like, this isn't good. Like, he's sick or something.
You made that meme face.
Yeah.
That girl. I was like... yeah, exactly. So you did it so well.
We call cranimal actors. We say, is he okay? They're like, oh, he's fine. He was great. He ate breakfast. He had a good day. He was great.
We injected him with some of the adrenaline to keep him alive.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. So we picked him up at 3 p.m. Now this is like 9 at night or something. And I don't know. We're going to go to bed. But he He had one more accident in the house, and that
Is he
he's
making
had
any
an accident in
noise?
the house.
Is he yelping or anything? Or
No, he seems alright, but like he like all these things. If they happen one in the day, like I get it. Like sometimes he throws up in the house, sometimes he has diarrhea,
hmm
sometimes he's a pain in the ass. Like sometimes he has diarrhea outside. Like, but it's all happening at once, and it's just real weird.
Huh.
We call the vet, the place he was at, and they're like, no, don't give him any more food or water. Give him ice if he wants to drink. I never heard that, but
Yeah, that's weird.
and whatever. I figured they would say we need to see him. Let's check him out. He was acting weird or anything. I don't know. So Ange stays out on the couch with him. Says I'm gonna sleep out here with him. I'm like, he's fine. He's just being Otis. Well, she stays out. He managed to get on the couch with her, but he threw up one more time. I don't know. She goes to bed at 3 a.m. So 4 or 5 a.m. someone goes by and says, he did it in the hallway again.
You gotta clean it up.
Again?
Yeah.
I went out to clean it up, and it was mostly blood,
Oh.
like brown blood. And I was like, smells like death. And I saw him, and he got up, and I cleaned this all up, and I'm kind of cursing him, but now I'm like worried about him. Who I hate the dog, but I'm like, yo, are you okay? Like, you alright, dude? And he's staring at the wall, and I'm trying to talk to him. It's like he can't even hear me. Circled around that table twice, and he got real. He walked like he was drunk. He could barely move his body parts. Like he was forcing his legs to walk, and he walked to his cage, and he always goes to his cage to sleep, but his leg is like stuck on the outside of the cage, like all his weight's on here,
Huh.
and he doesn't even know it. And I'm like, dying. Like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't even know his body weight is like leaning on a metal bar that's like raised. And he's like laying down, and I'm like, all right. So I cleaned up what I could. I'm looking at his butt. I'm like, this thing looks gross. Got towels in there with him. Well, when we get up an hour or two later, like we moved him because he wouldn't move. He was like not responding. Bring
hmm
him out, and now more stuff leaked out of his body, and it was mostly red diarrhea stuff. I've never seen this. It was so weird. It smelled like death, and just all the stuff I said to him, and like hated his guts, and like gave him a little extra push with my foot because he was a pain in my ass, and all that stuff. Like I just felt like
Did you just age? You just aged several years there.
I did, man. So I gotta like we gotta wrap him in a towel. I'm picking him up. We call the other vet because the one that watched him for a week is now closed. It's the weekend, and it hasn't even been 24 hours of him home. It's been like 16 hours, and we call him, and I know he's gone. He's not even like looking. You could poke him.
Doesn't even blink.
No, he's breathing, but you can hear him breathe from the other room. And he's every now and then you hear a whine. And I'm like, my son, who's like not even 4, is like, "Is he okay? Oh, what's wrong with him?" I'm like,
Let me go give him a hug. Trying to kiss him.
We gotta go to the doctor. More stuff spilling out of his body. We're going to the vet, and I've had a couple dogs put down, but I was never in the room or whatever.
hmm
But the doctor, shout out, he had a Mulder and Scully tattoo.
Nice. X-Files.
I was like, this is cool. I was like, this guy's cool. If he says the dog's dead, I can't argue with the guy.
No, I can't.
He was like, yeah, if you guys want to run blood tests, x-rays, you want to check it out, whatever. I'm like, looking, I'm like, this dog's dead. Like, I'm looking at a dog on the table who's not responding to touch, feel, anything. And he's like, but my prognosis is, we're not going to get anything. And I was like, oh, it's something you have to say.
Yeah, it's
Like,
to offer it
you
to.
can't see. Right. And we're like, no, we're ready. So he came in and they gave him the injection they need to. And he's like, he just goes. Everybody's crying. It's her and her mom, and I mean that was her dog. It's not my dog, so it really sucked in a way. And I hated his guts. Too much. But when I come home now, like we didn't put his cage away. We moved his food bowls away and like some of his toys, but like it's like still there. And like if someone walks in the door, he doesn't annoyingly bark. It's not there, and it's weird. And every now and then I get a whiff like death in the hallway. Like it's all real weird, and I don't know. It's like losing someone you hate. I didn't really I'll put it this way: the opposite of love is not hate. I hated Otis. We were at odds all the time. The opposite of love is like this hole, the absence of love. What's it called? Apathy,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
nothingness,
Nihilism.
blankness. Yeah, and there's like now there's this blank spot where he was, and I realized hating him wasn't the opposite of loving him. I just hated him. You know what I mean? Like I hate your guts. You hate my guts. I hate your guts. But now he's gone. Like it's like I don't even have him to hate. He's gone. It's weird.
It's like the movie Rush. Niki Lauda and who's the other guy? Thor. Overplayed Thor. He battled him throughout the whole series.
Loki?
And no, Niki Lauda, the racing movie.
No, I didn't see this.
Oh no. Well, he and another racer went back and forth, and then the other racer quit abruptly because he won. And then Niki Lauda had like burns and everything all over his face, so he decided to keep going. And he always like the Niki Lauda's opponent died early in life too, so when he died, he felt like he was missing a part, almost like your Otis. So he's missing the competitor to challenge him, to push him, to mess with him a little bit.
I don't have anyone to yell at right now. Like I don't have anyone who bothers me. And it's weird. It's not, So hating him wasn't anti-loving him. Hating him was not nice. Just not having him anywhere at all is like a hole, I guess. Best way to put it. And I'm not really sad about it.
James Hunt, and it was Chris Hemsworth, not Liam.
Chris Hemsworth.
Rush.
No, I actually don't know. Oh, that's why you said Thor. I was like, I don't think that's Thor.
It's his. No, it is.
You mean Thor, the actor? No.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So that was the most depressing story you've told on Young Panders. I'd like to say that was. Thank you for that 50th episode. But so, when he left, were you like staring in his eyes? Was there like did you notice something like disappear? You just.
It was gone by the time we saw him in the morning because I got down real close to like look at him. I had to move him out of that cage that he was like half laying on. Didn't even know. Like it'd be like your whole body weight on a metal bar, and he was like he didn't care. Like he was gone at that point.
Huh.
And my question is, how did Cranimal Ackers
kill your dog?
This dog was right. I don't think they killed him because he's old. He has anxiety issues, digestive issues. He's got a tumor here, but he's had that for like 4 years. Did they know that he was going? And they were like, please, show up. Yes, they did. Okay. All right, have a nice day. See you. This is fine. Bye.
And dogs get really messed up by like a change of schedule, a change of food, change of environment. It's like
but he's done this before, but like, and this is the change of food and environment back to us. Like, do you know what I mean? Back to normalcy. I would think if anything, it killed him when he went there. But did they just keep him alive for 7? I don't know.
Huh. Just maybe they did a saintly act by keeping him alive.
I'm not saying they killed him at all, and I'm not saying that's bad. But it's bad form if they knew something was wrong or there was still diarrhea hanging from his butt. Like, come on, dude. Be like, yo, something's wrong with your dog. He might be sick or whatever. He was fine all week, but he didn't look right. Like, say that, and I'll be like, okay. Don't say, he was great. He had breakfast. He was happy as a clam. No, he's dead. He's already dead.
They probably don't want to admit liability in any instance. Right, there's something we noticed but we didn't take care of.
Right. But old age, is that a saying? Does that happen that quickly? Like, that's the thing I thought of. Like, if you know someone's gonna die, but it's a family member,
and they eat one bad meal, and all of a sudden it's like, well, that set them off.
Did it? I don't know. Is that how it starts? And then it just felt like it happened so quick. Like I blinked and he was crapping on his brains and throwing up, and then there was nothing left. Like that was all his life came out of him, I guess. Does that happen to people too? Like that's crazy.
They're so sad. Well, thanks for bringing me up, Nick.
Well, full circle. I've started biking because running hurts my calves and my knees.
Wow, yeah, the knee pain. I feel your pain.
Biking. I'm a biker. I bought a bike on Let It Go.
Did you buy one of those like latex suits and just get one of the helmets?
No, I should. That's probably my next move.
One
I
step
don't
at a
want one
time.
super hairline. Yeah, a little bit like a pop.
Yeah.
A little bit like it.
The only
Way
things
more goes into it than hardware.
the only things I wanted to bring up were social medias. There's one website called IFTTT. If this then that, it will.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 T's. It will take
Right.
certain websites and take the information and repost it on other websites. So it helps with all of the socials we have, which are Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Patreon. It doesn't link to Patreon, but we have Patreon.
No one likes our Patreon.
Yeah, 0. That's okay. And then also the RSS feed. So do you know what an RSS feed is?
I do. I tried to post that thing to the Apple one. It still didn't work, right?
Yeah, I don't think it works yet. But an RSS feed.
Weird. I'm telling you, it was downloading and or uploading. I can't remember which now.
Interloafing.
Interloafing? What is that?
It's where you don't do anything and you wait a long time. Oh. But it's okay. The RSS feed is just a listing of your episodes, the information, and where to go to get them. So if you have an RSS feed and you put it on like Google Play or iTunes, it kind of proliferates and spreads, and you can post it on different places. So you just say like, look at this one thing, and then it just gives you the whole episode listing, like on Burberry. Yeah, Blueberry. Sorry, Burberry. Blueberry, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, or iTunes.
People want to check this out. Do they want to check it out? Is this like a because I also have it broke down where people listen to podcasts.
Oh, unlike
49% of them listen at home, 22% in the car, 11% at work.
That's strangely low. I listen to almost all my podcasts at work. Right. Yeah.
Most people probably don't have a job where you can sit at a desk and do one thing with your eyes and hands and another with your ears. You know what I mean?
That's true. If you work in a retail job or like in a warehouse, right, they probably ban it.
Right. I thought this was interesting though. 3% of people listen to podcasts walking around was their answer.
Is it like fill in the blank at the end?
I don't know, dude. It was just no, because 7% was other.
Huh.
4% was working out. I thought that was interesting.
It's kind of low too. If I worked out, I would listen to podcasts. So maybe music to pump you up.
Listen to music, yeah. Can't.
Should we talk about stats and growth?
Oh, let's. Please, sorry, get away from Otis.
Otis. Yeah, move Otis. Wait, did you bury him?
Did
they cremate him?
Thing. You bring him in on a blanket and a towel, like both.
Uh-huh.
I put it down on the counter.
You don't get the blanket or towel back, do you?
I could have, I guess.
Do they refund you the cost of the towel and the blanket?
No, but they inject him, and he passed on them, and I thought, can we just slide him off? Like, you can't do that. We left it, but we're getting them cremated in little ashes for the nice.
So you're gonna get an urn and you're gonna put it somewhere. You're not gonna redistribute them into the wild, back to where he was born.
Where he was born.
Just stack put him in the cage and just put him in this little pile.
The urn in the cage.
Yeah. Oh, someone's gonna listen to this and think we're abusive, but we're very loving.
I was saddish.
Saddish. So the stats. So we get stats from pretty much all of those. Mostly YouTube and FeedBurner, which still exists. So RS feed goes through FeedBurner, which then gets spread around. FeedBurner is like 8 years old now, maybe 10, and it's probably been abandoned. But I mean, the stats show a nice slow growth, continual. I'm not going to tell you specific numbers, but it's still going up, which for having not released anything big, like no huge episodes, we just continually release things, it's good, At once a week, we're still growing.
Way to build it, though,
Yeah. I don't know it's supposed to hockey stick or grow exponentially. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know that it matters if it happens that way.
You could hit one that really strikes a vein or becomes popular somewhere else.
Let's talk about the most popular one we have.
No, let's not.
Uh,
Is that Trump, North Korea?
yeah, it's. I think we talked about sex dolls, Trump tweets, and then North Korea all in the same one, and that was the title. And I think the title really weighs on how many people actually listen to it. So you get a whole bunch of people.
But isn't that episode the one that had the least full listens? It was like.
Yeah, I don't know if people listen for like less than a minute and then realize that it's not porn. They're like disappointed. Two dudes.
Right, so keywords are really good to get clicks.
Yeah, but they're not followers.
Clicks don't necessarily result in subscribers, followers, just truly loyal fan base, or people that want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and I will say that there's a bunch of people out there that say you can't have two dudes talking and make it like a popular podcast. Like it's a long and brutal slog. And I would say they're wrong, because if you're focusing on just getting followers, yeah, you're probably gonna die. But if you
right. We're not exactly we're not here because we want quick money or followers. I don't know why we're here. Just to hear our own voices.
Yeah. I'll just turn off my mic and you turn off yours and you just talk into an empty room and you'll feel good about yourself.
No, there's something I want to share with the world.
Reflect
share with my future self. Share with future people.
What about me? You want to share with me?
I'm sharing with you. I'm already sharing.
But that's the main point. Yeah, we're good friends. We go way back. We had a little disconnect there.
I could call you. We wouldn't have to do it over.
Yeah, but
Skype. Although the first times I did Skype with you, we were playing Minecraft, and we didn't want to waste minutes because minutes weren't free at the time, so we would Skype over Wi-Fi and talk. And while
that's because Xbox Live had some weird thing that would just break every now and then.
We couldn't video or chat the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And the whole streaming thing I don't think it existed back then. Like Twitch is a 2012 type thing.
We would be billionaires probably.
Yeah, if we had somehow been the first people to get there.
Call of Duty 4. It all comes back to Call of Duty 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does.
But no, I guess we want to share it, but we don't want to hoard out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're not going to bend our will. It's like someone talked in the chat, and I didn't acknowledge them because it's not about them. You know, I think most people on Twitch would say, "Oh, thanks for the message, thanks for the subscribe." Like, we're not going to do that.
Thanks for the subscription. Although if he gave us a $20 gift certificate,
we're not going to pander. Do not pander.
Yeah. Pander.
I will mention it towards the end of the episode. So I guess I'll set that precedent right now. Since we have like 8 different chats tied together. If someone says something, I'll bring it up at the end, and then we can talk about it. That could be a closing argument.
It could be good. I mean, because then, they can still get their voice heard. I also think that's important.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to bring something to the chat, the problem is we can't look at 8 different chats and argue a point I talked about 10 minutes ago. Like, are you sure Cranimal Hackers isn't a good place? And I'd be like, we're moving on.
Yeah, they will be delayed, and it will have to be like a one-off. It'll be a quick answer.
Yeah, it has to be something really good, something general, like, you guys believe in aliens? I'm like, ooh, got a little something for you. Nope.
It does give you an idea. Once we get more people interactively talking, we could have an episode where we just talk back and forth about ourselves.
And ask me anything type deal?
Yeah, an AMA. Which, interesting you bring that back. There's a Reddit post today on what was the most mysterious thing that you saw on Reddit. And it was weird that you talked about death too, because there was a post 3 months ago of a woman who coughed up a staple, and she was in really good spirits. She said, haha, like finally, like this staple came out of me because I was like having trouble.
She knew it was there?
She had a previous surgery from cancer in her lungs, so she thought that it was just like a staple that was a remnant that was stuck in there that finally came out.
But I mean, it was the staple showed up and then everything happened, or she knew the staple was in there and started working towards getting it out?
She knew the staple was in there from a previous surgery, and it lasted like a week before she could actually get it out.
Was it like an X-ray showed it, and they were like, "We got to get it out," and then
no, they didn't take it. She coughed it up, so she had it in her hand. It was like a really tiny staple. It was probably like half an inch long, maybe 2 centimeters, maybe a centimeter for those of us who are metrically based. Well, the scary thing is that this was 3 months ago. She took a picture of it. She added an edit saying we're gonna get this checked out. And then she said, edit again. I coughed up blood. I'm going to the hospital. So I saw that, and I actually messaged the person because it was old, and I said, "Are you okay?" Because she didn't post anything else after that. And today there was a Reddit post about what was the most mysterious thing that you've ever seen on Reddit. And I said, there was this woman that coughed up a staple and blah, 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 blah. It turns out that not only is it my highest comment on Reddit ever, it was like 12,000 points, but also that she had passed away 3 days later because of a rupture in her lungs. So the last thing she ever said was like, I'm not going to die today. Like, she was like upbeat.
Edit. I got this. Edit. Oh boy.
Yeah, no big deal. I'm going to take care of this. And then it got her. So.
Say anything to my dog?
Does your dog know how to use Reddit?
Yeah, he was on Reddit. That's crazy. You consider that a brush with death?
I don't know. It's weird. I was really concerned. I was like, wait a second.
Hold on. So wait, when you sent the comment, she was already passed, correct? She already died. She died 3 months ago. The comment was today. I sent a direct message to her because I was like, are you okay? Because you can see what the user posts, and she didn't post anything after that. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's frightening. It's strange because she was so happy and upbeat and said like, I beat this. Like, I'm already done with it. Like, I'm moved on. And then it got her. And she,
quick, yes.
Yeah, at least it was, I guess, yeah, it's better than a long drawn out battle.
Yes, I don't even know. Wow, so that's how you make a podcast.
Yeah. Talk about interesting things that you find out throughout the week.
Weird. Crazy. Fascinating. Interesting.
Maniacal.
Gerbil.
Gerbil. I can't say. But I do have this one story, but I don't want to. I could save it for next time. I'll save it for next time. It's a little too fresh. So I was making dinner today.
Here's the whole story, by the way.
Yes.
I'm gonna get the whole story out. Okay.
So I was making dinner today, and there are these delicious meatballs. This is
in-betweener.
In-betweener. Okay. So there are these meatballs which I like. They're delicious, and I was cooking them on the stove. No microwave. What are you talking about, man? You don't microwave these meatballs. There's some special meatballs. So you put them on sauce and you cook them on the stove for like over an hour. You saturate these things in the juices of the tomato. Yeah. So I set that going. I'm cooking dinner for the family. I have to go pick up my son. Oh, it's marinara with a little basil, oregano. Throw it in there.
Right, so you buy sauce and you add stuff.
Yeah. You can do natural tomatoes. You cook it longer, it tastes better. I'll say that. You get a little like caramelization of the tomato, a little sugary, a little sweet.
Okay, I didn't want the man out. He seems defensive.
So I go to pick up my son, and I pick up my son, like literally, I lift him up once I get there, and he's happy until he points to something on the mat, like he wants a toy, and then from that moment on, he is not happy. He is pissed off. He's fighting me, and like kids that are like 2, they like scratch, they bite, they like pinch. They don't understand.
There are no rules. It's just I want this. I want it now.
Exactly. So he was furious for about maybe an hour, maybe 2. He's persistent. So I get to the point where there's serenity sitting on my plate in that meatball, and I'm just eating that meatball and trying to tell him like, you have your stuff. He's still wailing away. Serenity now. That meatball was delicious. That was fantastic. I got in my zone. I was fine. By the time I was done my plate, he's sitting over there. He's still yelling at me. And then I go, why don't you try this? And like I finally like got it like to touch his mouth. And he goes, ooh. And then he's like, ooh. And then he starts picking at it. He's shut up entirely. And then he ate it. And then I was like, wow. Magic meatball.
God damn.
Yeah.
That meatball, son. In your face. Almost like an angry.
I told you so many times to try that damn meatball.
You don't listen to me. I hope you love that meatball, you son.
Yeah. Oh, just jam his face in it. Taste it.
I hope you love it. I hope you love it.
He's gonna pop up with middle fingers and just be 18 years old, impregnate the wrong woman, and you're just like, oh Damn it, I knew it. That meatball was going to screw me over.
That meatball did it.
Woo!
Well, folks, that's how you make a spicy podcast.
That's why I see a podcast, huh?
Yeah.
I think that covers it.
I also do want to drop one more stat. Oh, we
Sure,
talk about podcasts.
sure.
19% of people, serial killers, increase the speed of the podcast while they're listening so they can listen to it quicker. Oh boy.
Huh. How quickly does it take to get to your house? Probably maybe 4 hours.
You increase the speed. 1.5 times speed. So we went over a little bit about the hardware, the software, the technical side, the material side,
distribution,
distribution,
hosting, editing, sharing, socializing,
post-production, pre-production, social media, the percentage of juice drinking podcast listeners. Shout out juice drinkers, 56%.
Milkers,
milk, 54%ers. Not milkers, Dan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To clarify. And I think we touched on a lot. And anyone really wanted to know more about podcasts or making a podcast, who in the world would they be able to contact?
Oh,
I'm Nick, folks. Nick of the Unpander. Send me, drop me a line, and I'd be glad to tell you how to get in touch with Dan.
Sure. Unpanders.com. Unpanders@gmail.com.
You can't whore out the Unpanders, I hope you know.
No. We work on our own time. We do what we want. We don't pander.
We don't, folks.
I would like to say that Grande Koala, he has returned and he said, I'm back. He didn't say anything else. I think he wanted us to pander, and we will not pander, Grande Koala.
Damn, dude.
He scurried away back into the leaves. Yeah.
Eucalyptus, I believe.
I do want to make a t-shirt that has an icon on it, and I think an undead panda. Just things that have like un and pa to them. Maybe we just like think about that.
I'll think about that.
That's all I got.
Well,
I like you, Nick.
I like you, Dan.
Oh, that's so sweet.
People at home, we like you
a lot. Have a good night.
Thanks for tuning in.